mind me, just rocking up to work with my portable computer. Come check it out. So let me show you what a real portable computer looks like. None of this newfangled iPad rubbish. Here we go. Whoa, look at that baby. Yeah, now we're talking. Let's have a look. Oh, light as a feather. Oh, only weighs about 8 kilos or something like that. Beautiful. This is state-of-the-art portable computer technology from 1979/1980. The Hewlett Packard 85, this is the original Model A. No, it didn't have A on here. There was a later Model B. Came standard with 8K of RAM, expandable to 64K. Didn't use a Z80 or a 6502 or any of the common processors at the time. It had a custom HP calculator, just like all the Hewlett Packard calculators did. And it had a full QWERTY keyboard on it, numeric keypad, function keys, all sorts of stuff, fully equipped. Even came with a high-speed professional cassette interface. None of this, you know, regular consumer cassette rubbish. Proper professional high-speed cassette storage, about 200K worth, 256 by 192 resolution, monochrome, none of this newfangled color rubbish, graphics display, and it came with a built-in thermal printer, fantastic, and expansion ports on the back. Look at it, where you could memory expand, you can get I/O serial interfaces, industrial interfaces, all that sort of stuff. And that's the ticket with this baby, is that although technically this was a personal computer, it was really marketed as a scientific and industrial personal computer, or just a, you know, scientific engineering computer for professionals. It had full graphing capability, lots of very advanced graphing capability that we'll take a look at, and that was its primary market, and it was priced as such. It was about $3,500 US at the time in 1980 dollars. So, you know, pretty expensive bit of kit. So you could actually get better functionality cheaper around about the similar time, but this was designed for professionals and it was portable. Woohoo! Tell us the speed, Dave. Okay, a whopping 613 kilohertz. K. Oh, isn't she a beaut? Look at this. What a Bobby Dazzler. We've even got the original tape cartridge. Look at that. Certified data cartridge, HP200. Thank you very much indeed. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen one of those before. Anyway, I always lusted after these. Never had an opportunity to use one. But, geez, that's terrific. Check this out. They've got themselves somebody who used it previously. What have they been doing? 40 dB minus 17, is that degrees C? And 26.66 millimos? Perhaps? Wow. It's upside down, but that's University of Washington. This is where it came from, and it was genuinely serviced by HP back in the day. If we have a look at the back here, we've got selectable mains input voltage was set to 110. I set it to 230. Just then, we've got ourselves 4 cartridge slots here. X-rays generated. Yeah, real genuine CRT, but check this out. Can we... Whoa, they're difficult to get out. There you go, but we've got the 16K memory module. Doesn't look very exciting at all. And we've got the ROM drawer. Oh, look at that. Look, you can put ROMs in there. That's what it's... That's actually what it's for. It is actually a drawer for ROMs. That's terrific. So this one actually has I/O, and the ROM chip is going to be inside that puppy there, and it plugs into the module like that. Wow, isn't that neat? So this thing came standard with 8K of RAM, but as you saw, we got a 16K RAM expansion pack. Fantastic. 64K maximum. The tape drives are about 220K a pop or something, 200K a pop. And as I said, it works at a screaming a 0.6 megahertz on there, about 600 something kilohertz. Anyway, let's power this puppy up. And by the way, the 5-inch CRT can do up to 256 by 192 graphics as well. Hopefully, we can get some stunning graphics on this thing. And HP Basic built in, and apparently all the chips in it are custom HP ones, apart from the memory devices and stuff like that. So here we go. Fingers crossed. Let's switch it on. Power. Come on. That tape drive is loud. Anyway, I don't see anything on the screen. Maybe it's got to wait until it rewinds the tape, perhaps? Because it's got to load from tape if there's a tape in there? Maybe? I don't know. I've never used one of these puppies before. Twiddle my thumbs. Oh, geez, sequential access memory. Those were the days. That's really churning. How long is that going to take? Should have powered it up without the tape. That was quite a non-event, wasn't it? Jeez, don't think I can wait much longer. Anyway, there's no magic smoke escaping. Check it out. Flappy. There it is. Beautiful. All right, let's power it up again without the tape and see what we get. Supposed to be working. They did show it powered up in the ad, although they did have 2 of them and they only showed 1. Oh, no. We have a cursor. Was that there before and I just didn't see it? Hello? Yay! Look at that! It works! Beautiful! Error! 92 syntax! Fantastic! So we can go 10... Oh, no? No? Oh, how do we clear? Woo! Oh, scratch. Error, no, continue before run. Oh, I don't know how to use this. Well, you HP85 aficionados are probably screaming at me. I don't know if I can directly do this, but I did list and it showed the, presumably the amount of memory, but 16K plus 8, that doesn't sort of add up. Anyway, okay, maybe run. Oh! Error 48 on line 909 end, but, check it out. There it is. It printed hello world. It actually printed it instead of going on the screen. Oh, winner. Check this out. We can actually press the roll key here and make it scroll. It looks like, there we go. It's like got a screen buffer on it, and we can just scroll through that. And it's got a list command, like, well, a dedicated list key down here, so you can type in list and, you know, sure enough, there's my program. So I think what's happened there is that I haven't put an N command in my basic program, so it's actually gone through all 9,999 lines, presumably, even though my program's only 1 line, it didn't know that it ended. So if I go 20 and then end like that, okay, I can now list. There we go. And now if I run it, I should not get that error message. Here we go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. The really interesting thing is that you can actually cursor up and down like this and then like type anywhere you want on the screen. That's rather unusual and frightening. So I'm actually rewinding the tape now, and I still don't know if that's normal or not. I just pressed in shift and they've got rewind up here on this button. And I'll come back to you whether or not it's actually rewinding the tape and going to get to the end. I'll give it a few minutes. Nope, no joy on the cassette there, so I don't know what's actually going on. These are much faster than regular cassette tapes of the day, by the way. And I also said this had HP Basic built in. That's not strictly correct. It's what's called a technical basic, or it probably had some other name, but well, official name. But it is a different basic used in other HP calculators. This one apparently had even commands for doing adding, doing graphs and adding axes to graphs and, things like that. It was really quite an advanced scientific machine. So I'll show you some of the advanced scientific graphing capability of this thing, because it really was an advanced scientific analysis, data analysis tool and things like that. Take this simple 4-line program here, don't include the end. G clear is graphics clear, of course, so it clears the graphics screen. 20 actually, the scale command allows us to actually define the scale of our graph. In this case, the X axis goes from -10 to +10. The y-axis goes from -100 up to +100. So we're going to do like a center graph like this with 2 different scales in it. And then we can go x-axis, start at 0, and we can actually have a tick mark every one. So that's on the X, so we should have 20 total ticks across there, and the y-axis we should have 20 total ticks across there. We're going to have a tick every 10th axis. So let's just run that. Press our run key or type in run, and beautiful. Look at that. It generates our graph with all of our little tick marks. Fantastic. And if we wanted to have a tick mark every 5th one, then we could just go like that and run it, and bingo, it'll give us every 5. Look at that. Then if we pressed our shift copy key here, bingo, it's going to print out our graph, or whatever was on the screen at the time. Fantastic. All right, so let's actually plot a graph of something that you might be familiar with. We'll start out with the G-clear command here. That's graphics clear. That'll clear the graphics screen. Rad, of course, we switch to radians mode, and then we use the scale command to scale. We can include expressions in there like pi, for example, and then we'll scale our y-axis and our x-axis, and then we'll do a for loop which goes right down to here, and that just goes up from -4 to pi, blah blah blah. Step should be familiar with your for command, and then if we're going to move the pointer to a certain location, and then we're going to draw, and you'll see why we're going to do this in a minute. And then we move again, and then we draw x, sine x on x. You might be able to figure out what this one is going to do. And then right at the end, just for kicks, we will use the label command, and we'll move to 1-1, which is it's not character position 1, it's graphics position 1/1 based on the scale function. So it'll be somewhere here on the screen. You'll see that when we draw our axes. We're going to have an axis down the middle, an axis here. It'll go slightly negative, and it'll go equally negative and positive on the x-axis. And we'll just print that label on the screen. So we're mixing graphics and string text here. Incredibly powerful, and you can do this to label axes and do all sorts of stuff. Here, we're just going to label our function. So here we go. Let's run it. And it's going to take some time, because remember, this only works at just over 600 kilohertz, but no one cared back in the day. But anyway, here's our axes. It's automatically plotted all the little tick marks and everything, and you can probably see what this one's going to do. But the interesting part here is that we're actually filling in. Instead of just drawing the graph, we could have just done that, but we added that extra command in there that basically draws a line in there, and then just so you can see it drawing up like that. So it draws lines up, so effectively like fills it in, like you're displaying the area under the curve, for example. So that's really good, and you can see this is your classic sine x on x function. And yeah, other basic computers at the time could do this, of course, but hey, this one was purposely designed with engineering and scientific functions and graphing sort of built in. And there's our label, bingo, at 1/1. It started there. Look at that. Fantastic. Love it. And then if we hit Shift Copy, it blanks out the display memory. I don't know why it can't have the display and there at the same time. I guess it can't read it. It's got to read back from that graphics display memory, but we can print out that graph. No worries whatsoever. And you'd include these in your reports. You'd actually like stick them in with tape or glue them into your physical reports. Hey, I was still doing that back into the mid-2000s at large companies I was working at. So don't laugh. It's not like 1970s, 1980s stuff. It was, yep, look at that. So bingo. That's fantastic. Love it. That was the power of this thing and what made it so valuable back in the day to engineers and scientists, not, because it was a real expensive machine at $3,500, of course. There were better home computers on the market, but for scientific and engineering stuff, this thing couldn't be beat. What time is it? It's HP85 time. Let's do a program to display a good old-fashioned analog clock, shall we? There we go. So that's our program. I won't go through the details, but let's list that. Very simple. It'll draw an analog clock face, and then it'll make us enter in the time and display it. So let's run it. It's not particularly quick, but hey, this thing didn't have to be back in the day. The fact that you could do all this stuff, it didn't matter how long the program execution took, really. The fact that it uses, a 600-something kilohertz clock, nobody cared. The fact that you could do this stuff, for science and engineering calculations and things like that. Here we go. Let's go 05, and it's 30 now, is it? No, dot. Oops, that wouldn't have worked. Would have given us a syntax error or something. There you go, 5:30. And let's take a look at some old brochures of this baby back in the day. Personal computer, personal computation. It was the personal computer for professionals, because that's who it was marketed at. So they're going to talk about the graphics and the extensive data capability and the portability and all that sort of stuff. And look, I was used in the lab. Look at that. There's an old HP scope in the background. Look, fantastic. Well, a complete computer system in one small package. Dual mode display, does graphics and text, printing. Oh, look at it, Sign X on X, beautiful. Graphics is standard, not an add-on. Built-in display, typewriter like keyboard. None of that chiclet or little dinky tactile dome rubbish or membrane keyboard. No siree, Bob's got a real keyboard on there for professionals. Oh, it's got basic built-in application packs, whisper quiet printer, absolutely whisper quiet, and sophisticated computing at your fingertips. So there's the advanced graphics that's going on about, and you can mix graphics and text and all sorts of stuff designed for today and tomorrow. I wonder what the usable life of this thing was, but because it was bought by professionals, used in labs and things like that, it probably would have been used for a lot longer than a regular consumer would have had their home computer, for example. So anyone out there, I'm sure there's a lot out there who had one of these babies, let us know. How long, what you used it for, how long you used it for. Look at this, how many specify the dynamic range. How many personal computers specify the dynamic range and the digit accuracy? But hey, that's what HP were known for their calculators, and you could trust the results from this thing, unlike a Trash 80 or something like that. Who knows what you're going to get out of that thing. Anyway, the good thing about this is that there's tons of websites and info available on this. No problems whatsoever about getting like the original owner's manual and programming guide, 342 pages. Thank you very much. They don't make it like that anymore, do they? Oh, look at this. And it's actually, they're all beautifully scanned in and everything. Unfortunately, the photos didn't, come out too well, but there's tons of examples. You go right to the end down here and check it out. Look, they'll have like problems in there and then give you solutions to programs and flowcharts and all sorts of stuff. So you could really, because you've got to remember, people back then buying this might have been their first introduction to having a computer, to using BASIC, for example. It wasn't a given that people knew how to use it. Now, the other fantastic thing about this, look at the service manual, 239 pages. Thank you very much. And it's got absolutely everything that you could possibly want in this thing. I mean, how to take it apart, how it works, block diagrams, and theory of operation, servicing, troubleshooting guides, all sorts of stuff. And if we go right to the end, yes, we even get the full schematics. They were like A3 size. They would have been, so they were scanned in halves, and it's all there. Full service manual. Beautiful. I love looking through it, and the bill of materials, everything. It's just fantastic. So servicing these things is an absolute dream. And look, here's an original Byte article, the Byte review, or initial first impressions review from March 1980. Christopher Morgan, editor-in-chief. And A question often heard in personal computer circles is, when is Hewlett Packard going to bring out a personal computer? The question has been answered. The new HP85 computer is quite a system. There you go. Now, which reviews these days, apart from mine and other bloggers, actually take things apart? Look, they show you the internals in the original review. Fantastic. And I do have a teardown video if you want to look at all the gory details. But let's have a look down the bottom here and what's their evaluation. We were impressed with the performance. The graphics alone, this making an attractive, albeit not inexpensive, no kidding, alternative to existing small systems on the market, and many of its features are unique, although Hewlett Packard is pinning its hopes on heavy sales to the professional marketplace. Yeah, I don't think they sold almost any of these to the regular Joe in the street. I don't think so. Yep. Computer experimenters and hackers will want this machine because, yeah, it's all open. It's ready to be expanded. There you go. In future issue or buy it, we'll evaluate it in greater depth. There you go, beautiful. And of course, you get it came with like a pocket guide, which they're scanned in now. That's all you needed. You know, you would keep that by your side. You wouldn't keep the full manual. You'd just always keep the pocket guide there because it'd have all the basic commands and everything else. And that's, you know, ASCII tables, and that's basically exactly what you wanted. I spent many a year doing that. Anyway, there's tons of stuff available on hpmuseum.net. All these PDFs you can download. There's a ton of it. And it came with a whole bunch of course, analytical packs, engineering, scientific packs, program packs, ROMs, that can do all sorts of stuff. So that you put them in the ROM drawer, as we saw. And it's got a list here. But yeah, it had linear programming, general statistics, maths, surveying, VisiCalc Plus, there you go, the AC circuit analysis, waveform analysis, regression analysis, you know, science learning 1 and 2, electrical engineering, math, numerical, or probability, all sorts of stuff. You can get these program packs. Fantastic. This is an awesome machine. And it was pretty groundbreaking back in the day, and I lusted after it, but never got a chance to use one. Now I've got one. Fantastic. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that video and the rather long fanboy ramble of the HP85. If you want to discuss it, forum links down below, YouTube comments, website comments, all that sort of jazz. Hope you liked it. Catch you next time. Here we go. Let's try and lift the case off now. Fantastic. Oh, we're in like Flynn. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, nice and clean too. Love it. Wow, check out the nickel screening on this thing, and look, has somebody signed it? Is that, I don't know, is that the person who assembled it, person who checked it? I'm not sure, but good on ya.